I actually think Smokey's a good pivot point because for us to talk about some of the species that benefit from fire, as opposed to this public view that that's been perpetrated by the agency with the Smokey myth that all fires are traumatic for wildlife. Both of you know the University of Montana forest ecologist Dick Hutto, and I was sharing that had read the story of, in an article entitled Old Flames, The Tangled History of Forest Fires, Wildlife, and People, in which he celebrates the role of these intense fires. And what I thought was really interesting about it is juxtaposing the agency narrative in which air pollution was horrible, evacuation orders, and yet as he walked through the fire, he said you couldn't ask for a better fire. What are your thoughts on that particular fire and Dick Hutto's reference to this fire not being traumatic, but actually being incredibly beneficial?
Yeah, Dick Hutto, I think of him as sort of the godfather of this movement to protect these snag forests. He has such a wonderful way with words, and everything he says is backed up with science. And so, yeah, when he says you couldn't ask for a better fire, and he's in an area which is, you look all around you and it's all blackened trees, it's because at that moment he's hearing blackback woodpeckers, American three-toed woodpeckers, hairy woodpeckers, bluebirds, house wrens, just countless birds that absolutely thrive in the most severely burned forests. And he calls them magical. And I think that's absolutely right. I like to think of them as an ecological treasure trove, because it's sort of like a treasure that, you didn't know, and you open it up and there you are, and you're just blown away by the incredible life that's thriving in these areas. And for me personally, when I need to become rejuvenated after I'm sort of feeling depressed about things, I go up and I go camping in a burned forest. And it just reminds me again of this, this struggle is right, that we need to protect these places that there are so many. In fact, like Dick Hutto says that almost all bird species in American forests in the West benefit from severe fire at some point in time. So, you don't just go there and look a year or two after, but 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, as the forest regenerates over all that time, different bird species use the forest at different times and, different vegetation types. So it's incredibly beneficial. And it's not just birds. There's bats, small mammals, deer, so many other kinds of animals that really do well. Wildflowers that don't even bloom until there's a severe fire. So it really is a magical, magical forest. And I recommend folks go out and see it for yourself. Grab a pair of binoculars after a fire, a year or two. The spring after a fire is always very good. See for yourself.
It's beautiful. I love